The Eleusinian Mysteries were initiations held every year for the cult of Demeter and Persephone based at Eleusis in ancient Greece. They are the most famous of the secret religious rites of ancient Greece. It is thought that their basis was an old agrarian cult which probably goes back to the Mycenean period, c. 1600 to 1100 BC, and it is believed that the cult of Demeter was established in 1500 BC. The mysteries represented the myth of the abduction of Persephone from her mother Demeter by the king of the underworld Hades, in a cycle with three phases: the descent, loss, the search and the ascent, with the main theme the ascent of Persephone and the reunion with her mother. It was a major festival during the Hellenic era, and later spread to Rome. The name of the town, Eleusis, seems to be pre-Greek and it is probably a counterpart with Elysium and the goddess Eileithyia. The rites, ceremonies, and beliefs were kept secret and consistently preserved from antiquity. The initiated believed that they would have a reward in the afterlife. 6. There are many paintings and pieces of pottery that depict various aspects of the mysteries. Since the mysteries involved visions and conjuring of an afterlife, some scholars believe that the power and longevity of the Eleusinian Mysteries came from psychedelic drugs. Etymology: Eleusinian Mysteries, Greek, were called the mysteries of the city Eleusis. The name of the city Eleusis is pre-Greek, and may be related with the name of the goddess Eileithyia, but this is debated. The ancient Greek word mystery, means mystery or secret rite and is related with the verb muio, which means initiation into the mysteries, and the noun musts, which means one initiated. The word mystikos means connected with the mysteries, or private, secret, as in modern Greek Demeter and Persephone. The mysteries are related to a myth concerning Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility as recounted in one of the Homeric hymns, c. 650 BC. According to the hymn, Demeter's daughter Persephone, also referred to as Ker, maiden, was gathering flowers with friends, when she was seized by Hades, the god of death in the underworld. He took her to his underworld kingdom. Distraught, Demeter searched high and low for her daughter. Because of her distress, and in an effort to coerce Zeus to allow the return of her daughter, she caused a terrible drought in which the people suffered and starved. This would have deprived the gods of sacrifice and worship. As a result, Zeus relented and allowed Persephone to return to her mother. According to the myth, during her search Demeter traveled long distances and had many minor adventures along the way. In one she taught the secrets of agriculture to Triptolemus. Finally, by consulting Zeus, Demeter reunites with her daughter and the earth returns to its former verdure and prosperity, the first spring. Zeus, pressed by the cries of the hungry people and by the other deities who also heard their anguish, forced Hades to return Persephone. However, it was a rule of the fates that whoever consumed food or drink in the underworld was doomed to spend eternity there. Before Persephone was released to Hermes, who had been sent to retrieve her, Hades tricked her into eating pomegranate seeds, 6 or 4 according to the telling, which forced her to return to the underworld for some months each year. She was obliged to remain with Hades for 6 or 4 months, 1 month per seed, while staying above ground with her mother for a similar period. This left a long period of time when Demeter was unhappy due to Persephone's absence, neglecting to cultivate the earth. When Persephone returned to the surface, Demeter became joyful and cared for the earth again. If we suppose that Persephone stayed with Hades for 4 months and Demeter 8 months, corresponding to 8 months of growth and abundance to be followed by 4 months of no productivity, We see the parallel with the Mediterranean climate of ancient Greece. The 4 months during which Persephone is with Hades correspond to the dry Greek summer, a period during which plants are threatened with drought. At the beginning of autumn, when the seeds are planted, Persephone returns from the underworld and is reunited with her mother, and the cycle of growth begins anew. This reading of the ritual, however, does not square with the central foundation document of the mystery, the Homeric hymn to Demeter line 415, where Persephone is explicitly said to return in the spring of the year, not the fall. This was the day of Persephone's return, at the very beginning of bountiful springtime. Her rebirth is symbolic of the rebirth of all plant life and the symbol of eternity of life that flows from the generations that spring from each other. The Eleusinian Mysteries are believed to be of considerable antiquity, deriving from the religious practices of the Mycenean period and thus predating the Greek Dark Ages. One line of thought by modern scholars has been that the mysteries were intended to elevate man above the human sphere into the divine and to assure his redemption by making him a god and so conferring immortality upon him. Comparative study shows parallels between these Greek rituals and similar systems, some of them older, in the Near East. Such cults include the mysteries of Isis and Osiris in Egypt, the Adoniac of Syrian cults, the Persian mysteries, and the Phrygian Cabirian mysteries. Some scholars argue that the Eleusinian cult was a continuation of a Minoan cult, probably affected by the Near East. According to Mycenean, the lesser mysteries were held as a rule once a year in the early spring in the month of flowers, the Anthesterian, while the greater mysteries were held once a year and every 4th year they were celebrated with special splendor in what was known as the Penteteris. Kierini concurs with this assessment. The lesser mysteries were held at agrarian in the month of Anthesterian, our February. The initiates were not even admitted to the Eileithyia, greater mysteries, in the same year, but only in September of the following year. This cycle continued for about 2 millennia. In the Homeric hymn to Demeter, King Eleusis is said to have been one of the first people to learn the secret rites and mysteries of her cult. He was also one of her original priests, along with Diocles, Eumolpos, Polyxenus and Triptolemus, Eleus's son, who had supposedly learned agriculture from Demeter. Under Pisistratos of Athens, the Eleusinian Mysteries became pan-Hellenic, and pilgrims flocked from Greece and beyond to participate. Around 300 BC, the state took over control of the mysteries. They were controlled by 2 families, the Eumolpidi and the Carics. This led to a vast increase in the number of initiates. The only requirements for membership were freedom from blood guilt, meaning never having committed murder, and not being a barbarian, being unable to speak Greek. Men, women and even slaves were allowed initiation.